Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Smith, and I'm the Community Engagement Project Specialist for the USC Dornsife Center for Leadership by Women of Color. It's good to be with all of you this afternoon, and just want to welcome you all to this discussion on women of color in utilities entitled Shine Bright, the Opportunities and Experiences for Women of Color in Utilities. So before we get started with our discussion, I have the privilege of introducing our moderator, Dr. Kimberly Freeman. Dr. Freeman is the Associate Dean at the Dornsife College of Letters, Arts and Sciences here at USC, as well as the Chief Diversity Officer for Dornsife. Dr. Freeman is an experienced corporate, community, and educational leader with nearly 30 years of experience. She has treated her career as a journey of self-discovery. In doing so, Dr. Freeman brings to the table a unique mix of formal and experiential education drawn from her interests at the intersection of business, government, and higher education policies affecting California's most vulnerable communities. She earned her first of 4 degrees in industrial engineering and operations research from UC Berkeley, and holds a Master of Public Policy from USC. She also earned an MBA and a doctorate in educational leadership from UCLA. Dr. Freeman currently serves as the Associate Dean and Chief Diversity Officer for the USC Dana and David Dornsife College of Letters, Arts and Sciences. Her vision is to achieve representational diversity and to create an inclusive culture for faculty, students, and staff by leveraging social connectedness and the wisdom of multiple perspectives. Outside of work, she enjoys traveling internationally, reading nonfiction, and eating good food with even better company drawn from her vast network of family, community allies, and close friends. Her greatest joy is in being an aunt and spending quality time with her 4 nieces, 2 nephews, and 2 great-nephews. So just want to welcome Dr. Freeman and thank you again for moderating our conversation.
Gosh, well, thank you for that lovely introduction. And I see that I need to update my bio. I've been working for 31 years and I now have a 3rd great niece, or I have a great niece in addition to my great nephews who was born in the last year. So I have some updating to do. Well, I want to say hello to everyone on this call and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us over lunch to talk about this important topic. And before we get into the questions, I think it's important that our panelists introduce themselves. So if I could just have you all turn on your cameras, and then when I call your name, please go ahead and introduce yourselves. And I'd like to start up at the top of my screen with Lauren James.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman, and thank you for the great work you continue to do. And thank you, Alex and USC and Dornsife for hosting this webinar, very important discussion. My name is Lauren James. I'm the Director of Communications at Suburban Water Systems. I handle communications, supplier diversity, and conservation. I'm very happy to be here, hoping to raise awareness for water careers. I've been with Suburban for 7 years, and I will say that the idea for this panel came because I had no idea about utilities prior to the 7 years of working here. So hoping to raise awareness today, and hopefully we can get some people to start applying for the jobs we have available. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And now I'd like to ask Holley Joy to please introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Holley Joy. I am the Supplier Diversity Manager with Golden State Water Company. I've been working for this utility for the past 3 years, but have been around the periphery of utilities for the last 10. It's always exciting to be able to sit with like-minded people, to sit with women who are experiencing the same things and growth and development that I'm experiencing, so that we might be able to uplift, share, and encourage each other. So I'm really looking forward to this panel to be able to provide maybe a thought to some other woman of color or just another woman that this too could be your career path.
Thank you, Holley. And Telma, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Telma Lopez, and I am the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Supplier Diversity Manager for Southwest Gas Corporation. I've been with Southwest Gas for 26 years, and my journey has been long, but it's been very, very rewarding. So I'm super excited to be part of this conversation and share some experiences and some advice for anyone who is considering a career in the utility industry. Thank you.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, we have Dawn Gilbert.
Yes, my name is Dawn Gilbert. I am the Director of Strategic Sourcing and Supply Diversity with Frontier Communications. I too have had a long career with the utilities and worked with quite a few of the different utilities in the state of California, leading and directing their strategic sourcing and supply diversity. It is truly an honor to be here today. We do need more women of color. We need the next generation to be involved in the utility space because it is the foundation of our cities and states and our country. So again, thank you so much for having us here. It is a pleasure, and we look forward to getting into some conversation.
Thank you all. And as you can see, we have a very diverse panel of women representing many different companies, as well as many different years of experience in this industry. So I want to get started with the first question. And Dawn, you kind of keep this up by saying that utilities are important to our communities and our cities. So the question is, what is important about the utilities? I'm going to have to modify that a little bit. And why is it so important for our everyday lives? So maybe if we could have every panelist talk about the essential importance of utilities and why it's important to our everyday lives, that would be great. So Dawn, why don't we start with you?
Yes, thank you so much. And I won't say everything because I want everyone to have something to share. But I will say that it is the foundation of our life. We cannot live without Wi-Fi. We cannot live without water. We cannot live without gas, energy. We can't live with all of those. All of those enable us to have the lives that we have and to provide us a foundation to get to where we want to go in our life, whether it's a career in those spaces or a career that's impacted by those.
And how about you, Holley? What do you think about the importance of utilities and why they're important in our everyday lives?
To echo what Don says, I mean, the intersect of water and energy and technology is certainly in today's environment is essential for just everyday ordinary successes. When you can find a career in any of the utilities, now you're talking about maybe creating extraordinary successes in your family unit or in your community. There's just no way. I mean, when I think about our forefathers and foremothers and, the fact that they didn't have electricity and having to, wash their laundry the way that they had to wash their laundry. I cannot even imagine the simplicity and the accessibility for all of the utilities that we all enjoy really sets the course for how we are able to move about and again, become successful in our day-to-day. I just cannot imagine a place where the utilities were not available. And so it's so very much needed. And of course, coming from water, I feel like is the foundation of everything, from sanitation to the environment, to the growth of our agriculture, to feeding families. Water is so very essential to all of that. And so I'm glad to be able to be connected and to continue to learn more about what these utilities offer.
Thank you so much, Holley. And Lauren, we'll hear from you now.
I'll echo Don and Holley, but I will say this: water is the only utility you need to survive. So think about that, and it's important. And if we don't go out of business, the great career opportunities that we create in our communities will be here. You start, at 18, you could still be here 40 years from now. We just had someone retire after 55 years. So with knowing that we need the utilities, the importance that they basically keep us going, keep us running. We need water to survive. Is crucial in the understanding of what we can all come together and do in the long run, and how we can grow in our communities as well as hire from our communities.
Thank you for that. And last, but again, certainly not least, Telma, tell us why utilities are important for our everyday lives.
So to piggyback on what has been said, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about with regard to utilities is we are the pillar of the communities that we serve. Utilities, our employees, they give so much, they volunteer, they contribute, like for Southwest Gas, we have an employee giving program. And in 2021, our employees gave over $2 million to various nonprofit organizations. And that's all, funds that employees gave. And with the giving that we do in the communities that we serve, they touch all different demographics, all different sectors, all different areas of focus. We contribute to the arts, we contribute to education, we contribute to industries such as engineering, IT, and again, every single demographic category that's out there. When you think about the way that we touch people's lives, we not only are there to provide valuable service to the community, but we're also there to do to contribute in other ways, other civic and philanthropic ways. So, and that can have a really big impact in some of the communities. And even for this team right here, who oversees supplier diversity programs, through these efforts, we partner with diverse businesses, and through our programs, we are contributing to the vibrancy of local economies. So when you think about utilities, we are more than just a service. We have deep roots in the communities that we serve.
I love that, deep roots in the community. When I left my career in the utilities, I was the community relations director. So that really resonates with me. And I was just thinking if I could add another point around the importance of utilities. Last Saturday, my mom's neighborhood was out. She lives in LA City, and so she's served by LADWP. She was in complete darkness. And so, if you wonder if utilities are important, just have an outage, have a blackout, and you will quickly see why the women that are on this call are really essential to us having what is a high quality of life here in Southern California. So I heard you say this, Telma, when you were introducing yourself, that you have a 26-year career with Southwest Gas, and it's been a long journey. Our second question is really about telling the audience about that journey and how you got started and what the progress looked like for you. So if you could just take us through what steps you took as you navigated 26 years at Southwest Gas, that would be great.
So in my career, I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing groups and have some amazing leaders that have really supported me along the way. And so when I first started at Southwest Gas, I started as a representative in the company's corporate purchasing department. And, I worked in the supply chain field for about 10 years. And along the way, I was able to slowly move up and learn and become familiar, not just with the company, but with the way that we operated and the different things that we were able to buy. And so, and also along the way, I was able to complete my education through the support of Southwest Gas. And so once I accomplished all those things, I was able to transition into the regulatory affairs group, and then was promoted into government affairs, and then again was promoted into the role that I'm in DEI and supplier diversity. And I think for me, one of the most important things has been the ability to adapt. We see a lot of change. We are sometimes, don't really have control of the situation, but it's the way that we respond to it and the way that we adapt. And I think for me, that has been, that I will attribute that to my success is just being able to become educated about, all the different nuances with whatever change it was going to be, and then just, roll with the punches. And so I think that for anyone, it's really an important quality to have, is just adaptability and flexibility.
Absolutely. And I think one of the advantages and attractions of working in the utility space is that you really can come with any background. And then you find yourself moving into these areas where you say, gosh, I didn't know that I could do this. But you learn on the job, and experience is the best teacher. So it sounds like you have some great experiences at Southwest Gas. Holley, what about you? I know you said that you've been in the industry for 10 years, and so you've kind of left and come back. And so talk about your journey in the last 10 years.
Well, I'll tell you, prior to 2010, actually 2011, I really didn't know that diversity or supplier diversity was actually an industry. It just so happened that a childhood friend was wanting me to help her respond to an RFP. I didn't know anything about an RFP, and it turned out to be the RFP that would establish the supplier clearinghouse contract that all of the joint utilities use to certify diverse owned suppliers. So I became the contract manager of the supplier clearinghouse and did that for about a year or so. And along the way met someone from California American Water, and he asked me would I be interested in creating and standing up their supplier diversity program. At that time, California American Water or American Water had 100+ year history, and they were looking for someone to stand it up. So in terms of being adaptable and flexible and wanting to learn, I had no experience in this. But when I got there, and I realized that the premise of supplier diversity and the very conversation and narrative about what it was so intrinsic to who I was personally. And I was able to jump in, adapt, be flexible, and just get up every day going to work, skipping and kicking rocks, because it wasn't a have to, it was I get to do some things that in this role I may not have ever realized. I learned about the Public Utilities Commission. I met people along the way like Don Gilbert, who sits on this panel. And Don, I always tease her every now and again. When I met Don 10 years ago, I told her that we were going to somehow work together. And that happened in 2014. And now we sit on a panel together and we continue our personal relationship. There are so many things that I have been able to do on this journey, all because a friend of mine thought I could do it. And then I got in there and I realized that I could do it. And now I'm excited every single day that I get to continue to do it. My career, I'm not at the beginning of my career in terms of how long I've been in the workforce, but I cannot wait for that next generation to discover some of the things that we're all working towards on this panel. My daughter is now in DE&I in the Advertising Agency Association. And when I talk about it, I just get energized about it. And so this forum is such an opportunity for me to just say to the people that are listening, think about the utilities, think about what diversity is, think about the values that are personal to you, and then find that career path that allows you to do it every single day. It's been an easy journey, if you will, for me because of the people that I've met. It has not been difficult at all to move with the flow, to network with people that can or desire to take me to the next level. It really is my playground, and I can decide where I want to play, how I want to play, how long I want to play. And that's the greatest feeling in the world. I can't get enough of this environment. So again, I thank you so much, Dr. Freeman, Lauren, for encouraging me to, yes, let's do this. Let's talk about encouraging those that are coming behind, because it's definitely needed.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't cut you off. I just was so excited to jump in there because, you know, alignment is what you're talking about, and aligning your personal values with your professional work is so key and critical, especially for women. Since we are in Women's History Month and just celebrated International Women's Day yesterday, we need to be clear on our values and how those values influence our career choices. So great response. Lauren, I'm going to come to you next for a question, but I want to just share another little anecdote, because you talked about getting to do this work and how exciting it is. I remember early in my career at Southern California Gas Company, my brother used to say, "What are you, a cheerleader for this company?" Because I was just so excited. And then when I got this job in community relations, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. It was so fun to be out amongst our 15 counties working with hundreds of nonprofit leaders. And so I understand that feeling. I think you want to go to work feeling like you're really making a difference and you're really contributing to the betterment of society. So utilities have that that opportunity, as well as education. I found that same joy working in higher education. So Lauren, I want to take the next question and ask both you and Dawn. So Dawn, be ready, because you're going to speak after Lauren. I want to know, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced being a woman of color in this sector? So the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Dr. Freeman. So I'll break it up. So just being a woman in this sector, right? There's not a lot of us, and there's not a lot of us that sit, in higher managerial positions or in the C-suite. So navigating this as a woman has been a little bit difficult, in a sense of getting your seat at the table. So I have my seat at the table now as director, and now I'm here to put a seat next to me, to fill that seat next to me. So I will say, for the 7 years, I did start as as manager of communications only. But as a woman, we often get handed the cake, the superwoman cake. Like, hey, we need your help on the supplier diversity report. After that, a month later, I'm now in charge of supplier diversity. Okay, so, and then last year, conservation was added. They've all been great in the sense of what Holley said. It's been great to just expand and just, and I have no idea about supplier diversity, but it's often hard as a woman and in a male-dominated industry, when they know that they have you and they know that they can use you, they know what you're capable of. So that, they often have to wear a cape. And that's been probably the biggest challenge, but it's been the most rewarding, right? Because it's gotten me to where I'm at today. It's gotten me to be in charge of supplier diversity and loving it and supporting small businesses that beyond what Suburban had ever done. So I will say that for as a woman, it's been, often having to take the cape off at the end of the day to go be super mom to my kids. It's not easy. For a woman of color, there aren't many. So to even do this panel, I had to go through the address book like, okay. So I've been determined ever since I went to, in 2019, before the pandemic, I went to a conference. It was a National Association Water Conference. I counted the women on one hand. I counted the minorities on one hand. I then had a meeting with the association to let them know that this does not represent, this isn't representative of the communities we serve. We as an association nationally need to do better, and us as utilities need to do better. I cannot continue to go to these conferences and be the only Black person there. My first conference was Suburban, not even the association one in 2019. My first conference was Suburban. I was the only woman there, and I was the only Black person there. So navigating this space, it's been fun but difficult, and so that's why we're here today. So thank you, Dr. Freeman.
Thank you, Lauren. And you know what they say, if you want something done, ask a busy person. So if you look highly competent, you're going to get more put on your plate. That's just unfortunately how things work. So it's a credit to how hard you work, but self-care is definitely key to put up those boundaries. So Dawn, what about you? What challenges have you faced?
Oh, so many challenges. I would say some of those that Lauren mentioned, but just the fact that women have a higher level of emotional intelligence, and it's the fact, you get a lot of other opportunities. I don't want to say responsibilities, opportunities to expand your horizons within organizations, as you said. But particularly in the supplier diversity and the diversity space, You know, many times the folks who take the lead of diversity, equity, and inclusion, they become what, and we're having a courageous conversation here today, they become what people see as the model minority. And they want everybody to be just like you. They want everyone you bring in the door to act like you, look like you, behave like you, speak like you. And that is not who we are. We are a diverse world. And you may bring suppliers in and they may not be as welcoming. And sometimes you have to educate those leaders within your organization that, yes, this is me, this is my approach, but this supplier who I'm bringing in, who's a minority, they are qualified, capable, experienced, the same level as any other non-minority supplier. And you have to push for them even harder than you normally would. And it's like a push-pull. Suppliers don't think that you're giving them as much opportunities, and corporations think that you're pushing them too much to bring in the opportunity. So you're being pulled from both sides. And then when you go out into the community and you have that face, you know, you have to put a face on, because, you know, we all have three faces, you know, the one that no one sees, the one that everyone sees, and the one that you put on when you have to do what your job is. They see that face and they say, Lauren, Holley, I've been reaching out to you for 3 years and I haven't gotten an opportunity yet. So they feel like you're not doing your job. What they don't understand is, like a swan, you're paddling under the water, trying to fight for them, trying to push the opportunity for them, keeping your position, the respect and the accountability, so that when you do bring them to play for that opportunity, they will get it. So it's like it's a push pull. And then I'm just going to speak for myself, as a woman, a biracial woman, many times you get that, are you really here to support me on both sides? Not just, you know, like you work with mostly white men. I work with mostly white men. I'm the only lightly melanated person in that group. And they wonder, who am I pushing for? You know who I'm pushing for, who I'm supporting? I'm supporting the best supplier who represents the communities that we serve, because the communities that we serve are not represented by the white men that work within our organizations. We have Latinos, we have Asians, we have African Americans, we have LGBTQ, we have veterans. It is my goal, my responsibility, my passion to be sure that we continue to bring in diverse suppliers in all areas of opportunity, whether or not it hurts somebody's feelings, whether or not it impacts what they think that their workforce should look like. It is my role, and that is what they hired me for. So sometimes it's hard to be hard, but in order to achieve, that's what we have to do.
Gosh, well said. I'm over here clapping with my mic on mute, because I will tell you, there's no difference in higher ed. And some might even say it's like we're pushing a noodle up a hill. It is really tough work.
A buttered noodle.
It's hard. Yes, an overcooked noodle. It's hard to see progress. And, you know, I think of, and this is going to be blasphemous to do this, but John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood, I think of when he says, be quick, but don't hurry. And that's kind of this work. It's like there's a quickness to it, but there's also a slow, plodding, methodical way that things have to get done in order to achieve sustainable change. We're not just here for the one and done. We're here to try to make real structural systemic change. And sometimes that's slower than people like. So I think we've got time for one more question. We're going to do a speed round. Each person's going to talk about an ally in their lives and how that ally has helped them in this industry. So I'm going to start with you, Holley.
Wow. I think the first ally for me was Rob McLean at California American Water, who's now at Suburban Water. He was the president. I was reporting directly to him, and he absolutely had to stand up this program because we're in the California utility landscape. And he believed that I could do it. And his belief that I could do it fueled my energy, my motivation, and my desire and drive to get it done. He was bringing in a supplier diversity manager for California American Water, and yet there were 44 other states that American Water was operating in. He took me to places in American Water, promoted supplier diversity, got that conversation going to now it is in more than just California American Water. He put me in front of commissioners at the national level, all wanting to know about the experience of standing up the program, what the experience was for certifying diverse suppliers in their states because of my experience with the Supplier Clearinghouse. And he really pushed that. He introduced me to the National Utility Diversity Council. He's pushed me to become a change agent for American Water at the national level and throughout the enterprise. And then again, with the life event, I had to step away. But because of him, he was the greatest ally for me at a time when the world in this space was just opening up. I'm forever thankful and grateful for what he has done. Forever will be appreciative for him opening my eyes and allowing me to become the person that I am today. And I'm just hoping to duplicate that for somebody coming behind, to duplicate that at Golden State Water Company, and to be on to the next, whatever that looks like for me.
Thank you, Holley. How about you, Telma?
I have had some really amazing allies throughout my career at Southwest Gas. And for me, it is really, really hard to pick just one, just because I've been that blessed to have just people who really, really supported me. But there's one individual in particular that really just took the time, early in my career, and he helped me not only navigate through some of the complexities, but he also educated me on just career stuff in general. I mean, and it wasn't just, within our specific work group, it was everything about the organization. And he took it beyond, like, he supported me in school. I mean, he supported me just navigating through some of the work-life balance issues that I couldn't really seem to figure out as a young adult. You have to think. I mean, I started Southwest Gas when I was 20 years old, and so a lot of my formative years were spent at this company. And so, the allies that I've had have really made an impact in my life, not just then, but also now. And like Holley, I'm super thankful and grateful for everyone who really just supported me in that way. I don't think that I would be where I'm at if those individuals hadn't helped along the way.
Thank you for that. How about you, Dawn?
I will tell you that I have been at multiple utilities. I haven't had my career at one utility. So I had quite a few allies, but to be true to who I am, my biggest allies have been people that I've worked with in the supply diversity space. They have been my colleagues that I've worked with throughout my career. This was a second career for me. I started my career in journalism and then fell into supplier diversity about 18 years ago. And I would say all of the mostly ladies that I have worked with and a few gentlemen have been strong allies for me. And I think we lean on each other when those times come and we have to make hard decisions.
Thank you. And Lauren, of course, we want to hear from you.
My president, Craig Gott. So Holley mentioned Rob. Rob's our CEO, and then the whole of our whole company goes across 7 states, and then we have our own business unit, Suburban. And so our president, Craig Gott, has been a huge ally, advocate, sponsor, anything you can mention. He is constantly looking for ways to grow, personally and in business, and he knows that that the opinions of people that look like him aren't always, and yes men aren't the people he needs to surround himself with if they're going to be successful. So he has actually put together a leadership team that I am just beyond proud of to be a part of. We have 5 women, 4 men. 3 of the women are women of color. So imagine like me sitting in those rooms. It's like you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel supported. I always tell him he's diverse because he is a white man, but he's from Australia. So his wife studied abroad and they met in college in Australia. And so he followed her back here. So I always tell him, you're diverse. You don't, you're like, you don't count as a white guy, you're diverse. Because just everything he does is always in support of being better and doing better. So I give him so many kudos.
Well, certainly global perspectives are important because we don't live in isolation. We are an interdependent world. So it's great to bring in that global dimension as well. I'm waiting for the question. So in the absence of a question, I think, oh, looks like I have one. Okay. This question from one of our audience members is, what does it normally look like to network within this sector? Do you have any advice about the best ways to get connected? So I'm just going to randomly pick one person to answer this question, and then if others want to chime in. Dawn.
Got me. Okay. I'd say in the new space that we're in, where everything is virtual, the best thing is to really like have a strong email that solves a problem for our company. I had one the other day. Someone sent me an email and they said, I saw on the news the other day that you have had an issue with something, and it was in Banning, California, where one of our tribal communities is. And he says, I have a solution. I can help you with this. He didn't tell me what the solution was, but he piqued my need to find that solution. So I reached out to him, and he indeed had a solution. We had a supplier who was in the space not using the newest technology, and I connected him with the ops guy. So there may be an opportunity for him. I do get multiple emails every day, but he put that in the subject. He didn't even put in the body. He put that in the subject line. So when I saw that, I jumped on it. We are going to be going to face-to-face. So, build those relationships, have those conversations, even if it's a 5-minute conversation. Be ready to have that five-minute or five-minute speech, elevator speech to say who you are, how you can support us, but never, never, never say, I see that you need help with your diversity. I can help you with that. That's okay. I need help with other things, and it's great that you'd be diverse.
I love that. Moving from kind of the potlucks and flags, structure of DEI to really strategic influence. Edison, one of our other utilities here in Southern California, has some very strong employee resource groups. And that is something that I learned when I attended their events, is that they really use their employee resource groups as strategic thought partners on how to solve complex issues within the communities that they serve. So we don't want the potlucks and flags to be the only way we celebrate diversity. We want to also be strategic influencers. Lauren, I see your hand.
I was just going to say my best advice. I know you did ask me, but just to add on to Dawn, follow the companies on social media. We tell you all about ourselves, our happenings, our events that are coming up, what we're doing in the community, what we're hiring for. Social media has been my greatest tool of keeping connected. So my best advice is to follow us on social media.
I think that's awesome advice, especially in an age of technology. Telma or Holley, do you want to add some thoughts around this?
Yes, I would add to what Dawn is saying is that stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I would start with that, right? If you are looking to, whether you're looking to be a supplier with the utilities or you're looking to embark upon a career with the utilities, stay ready and keep yourself abreast of what's happening in the utility. Stay ready with what it is that you can offer if you are a supplier with products or services to align with what Dawn said. But if you're looking for, hey, I didn't even think about the utilities, I didn't even know that that was a career path, then start taking stock of what your skill set is. start understanding the company and start looking for careers that can get you through the door. Because when when you stay ready for an opportunity, you don't have to waste any time getting ready. You can go right to the door, knock on it, and see if the opportunity is going to open up for you. So this networking and with this virtual space, we're not able to personally network as much as we possibly can. But be well versed in your social media, which I'm not, but be well versed on how do you interact on social media. Be cognizant on how you show up on social media. Because we are in this virtual space, the only way that people are going to get to know you is how you represent yourself virtually. And there are some things that you need to maybe shore up before you present yourself. So I would say, you know what, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And when the opportunity is there, you're ready to step to it.
And just to add to what my fellow panelists have already said, I just saw in the chat one of our friends from the American Indian Chamber of Commerce, Tracy Stanhoff, is participating in the conversation. Hello, Tracy. And I just want to say that there are so many amazing organizations like her that are in the industry that can help you network with organizations, people that you want to connect with. And so I can't stress the importance of being involved. And now that we're in this virtual environment, it's a little bit easier to connect because we're all in all these various locations. So my advice would be to find an organization that can help champion you or your organization.
Yes, absolutely. And Tracy, I want to give a shout out to Tracy as well. From my career at SoCal Gas, I worked very closely with Tracy. And let me tell you the importance of keeping your friends, even when you move to a new sector. Mm-hmm. I called Tracy last year when I had an issue that I couldn't solve regarding the American Indian community. And she was so responsive. She helped me think through how I was going to approach this issue. And so I'm so grateful that I have those contacts from my time working in community relations, because even in education, we're talking about the same issues. We're trying to find solutions to the same problems. And so it's great to have the longstanding relationship. So thank you, Tracy, for joining us today. I want to ask a second question, and this one can be for anyone. So what are some of the benefits of a career in the utility sector? Maybe we'll start with Lauren.
So I'll just start by telling this story. Our current COO started off as a meter reader when he was 18. Our company paid for his college degree, he moved up. Our company paid for his master's, he moved up. He's now COO. He's been with the company for over 20 years. Our retired CEO started the same way. Meter reader, company paid for his college tuition, paid for the master's, became CEO. Careers, or utility careers, will offer longevity. They offer career advancement. And especially, you guys all heard, most of our utilities cover across all the United States. So the opportunities, if you want to move your family for us to Texas because it's cheaper and the gas is $2, we have Texas utilities out there. So the opportunities are endless. The pay is great. I will add that the pay is great. It's the pay ranges. I continue to look at directors and see what other people are making in different industries, and I'm like, well, I don't understand why more people are applying to utilities. The pay scales are high, the great benefits like 401k packages and medical, dental, and career advancement and career longevity.
Those are some great examples. Does anyone else want to chime in on the benefits of working in the utility sector?
I would just add stability and reliability with being in a career in the utility industry. And I think for me, this was, really amplified during the pandemic. and our corporate headquarters and I are in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I saw so many people lose their jobs, so many people that worked in the hotel industry or just in other service types of jobs. And you know, I'm so thankful that I didn't have to experience that. And I, you know, I attribute just, you know, being in a utility, it's that stability, it's that that they've always provided. And so I'm super thankful for that.
And I would add to Dr. Freeman that, you know, we've been talking about networking from the supplier side, but working in utilities puts you in a very select group of people. And you will learn, you know, and make friendships across varying utilities that can sustain you in times like these, where, you know, economically, maybe there's a challenge, maybe you had to step away, like I did. And I'm back in this role because of people and relationships that I met 10 years ago. This is sustaining in every aspect of your life, your financial stability, your personal stability, professional stability. A utility company career can set and change the whole trajectory that you may have had for yourself. It really does work. And so if you can find a utility that you can align with, a position within it that just fulfills you every single day, there's just really no need to step away. It's necessary, we're here, and you can live a great life on it. And yes, salaries are good here, Lauren.
What about you, Dawn? Any thoughts?
I was just going to add that, and it's basically what everyone else has already said, but utilities has been a launch pad for so many people to go on to other industries, even so later on in their career, to entertainment, to, you know, we have some people who in the diversity space who worked in pharmaceuticals, they moved to pharmaceuticals. There's so many other areas of opportunity. But once you have that foundation in utilities, it's almost like being in the military. They feel like you have a foundational understanding in the space and you can go anywhere and do anything.
Oh, wow. You all have just basically described me because I started at SoCal Gas when I was a college student. I was coming home in the summers from being in school up in Northern California to work as an intern, and that turned into a very productive professional career. I created a huge people network. I earned degrees with the tuition reimbursement program, and it just really set me on a path that when I got to a point where it's like, maybe I want to try something different, I had a lot of options. And working in higher education with my utility background, as I said, there's a lot of analogs, working with the public, really educating the public, having fixed assets in communities, having to engage in that town and gown relationship. Those are things that are core to my training at the gas company. And I was able to transition those into a career in higher ed. So absolutely, it's a place filled with a lot of opportunity, never a dull moment, and no two careers are alike. Everybody has a very unique path when they work in the utility sector. So I think we're at the end of our time. My watch just, the battery needs to be charged. There's one final question, and I will ask this of all the panelists, and I'll ask you to keep your answers pretty brief because we're at 12:53. What resources or opportunities are available for those looking to get into the field? Who wants to start?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Holley.
I was just going to say we are resources here on this panel. At the same time, you can just simply go into any LinkedIn, any career board and simply type in supplier diversity or diversity, equity, and inclusion. This industry is really continuing to grow and thrive, and you will probably see so many opportunities just going in using the virtual resource that we have.
There are a lot of groups out. I'm sorry, Dawn.
I was gonna say, and I'll say ditto to what Holley said. Go ahead, Telma.
I was just going to add that there's so many really great organizations out there, Hispanics in Energy, Blacks in Energy, that can help support your career path. And there's utility specific also organizations, the American Gas Association, Western Energy Institute, where you can learn more about careers in the energy or utility industry. And, you know, again, just to echo Dawn and Holley, we're also available as resources. So, I can type in my contact information if it hasn't already been made available. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So here to help.
And Lauren, please take us home.
All right, I was just going to say, we are your resource, and I included Suburban's career site. So I say, please don't hesitate to reach out. We would love, I would love to mentor, offer advice, be there for somebody, help get somebody in the door. Like I said, I have a seat next to me. I want to fill it. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I included Suburban's career opportunities. I love what everybody else said. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, love to connect there. So I'm a resource.
Yes, and this chat is very active. I see a lot of things being dropped in, but I want to take this time now to thank all of you on behalf of the Center for Leadership by Women of Color and also the University of Southern California, where I am in the Dean's office here in Dornsife. And it's just been a pleasure to hear from all of you and to really think about what it takes to make it in this industry. But I know I had a very rewarding career myself. And so everything that has been shared today, I wholeheartedly endorse. If there are any last comments that any of you would like to make, now is the time, because we are just about at 1 o'clock. Any final comments? You can each have a minute.
I was just going to say thank you so much, Dr. Freeman. It's been wonderful to hear your journey, especially coming from the utility sector and the doctor in front of your title now, right? So Dawn's points, endless opportunities. So thank you so much. This has been a fabulous panel. We appreciate you so much for bringing this. It's just about awareness and getting our opportunities out there. So we appreciate you. And Alex, thank you for meeting with us and putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. USC. Anytime that we can be a resource, or let's continue this conversation to get it out to whomever we need to get it out to. So thank you again for letting me participate.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
100%. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Freeman. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Lauren, for reaching out to us to be part of the conversation. It's been an honor.
It looks like we're being asked to take a photo, so please smile so we can get a photo of everyone. Okay, sounds like we got it. So post on social media. I'm going to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. I'll put my email address in the chat, so please let's stay in touch. I feel like a cousin to all of you since I used to work in this sector. And if there's anything I can ever do for you here at the University of Southern California, please let me know. Holley, I see you have your hand up.
Quick question. Alex, will you be able to provide the link to this, or is this something that we're going to be able to post either on our company websites, this recording, or will it just be the photo, or what are we able to do?